everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming something that is kind of sad. I'm going to be filming my last ever university Q&A. So obviously I have been back home for quite a while now because of lockdown and everything that's going on, and I have finally finished my university degree. I finished third year, I'm done with uni, and it is such a weird feeling, and I just felt like I needed to make one last uni related video on this channel. So yeah, I asked over on Instagram for you guys to send me in some of your uni related questions, and I'm gonna sit and just answer a couple because so many of you guys sent in questions, so thank you so much if you did. I really hope I can answer as many of your questions as possible in this video, and if I didn't, then feel free to leave me a comment down below because I reply to every single comment. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit and have a little reminisce of my time at uni and answer some of your guys' questions. I've just made myself a cup of tea, so I've got that ready, and make sure you guys get some snacks, get some drinks, because I feel like this video could be quite a long one. First one is, what was your favourite thing about living in Southampton? So if you didn't know, I lived in Southampton for 3 years. I went to Solent University and I studied beauty promotion, just in case you are like new to this channel or you weren't entirely sure what I did. I wouldn't say that I loved Southampton as a city. I definitely had my days where I really didn't enjoy it and I hated living there. I didn't feel personally like it was the safest place to live, and quite a lot of the time I did feel quite uncomfortable there. And I think for me, because I came from such a small local little like countryside village, moving to a big city like Southampton was really daunting for me, and I think I just found that quite hard because it was a very big change from what I was used to. But my favourite thing about living there, other than obviously like meeting my friends and stuff, was definitely the pubs. I feel like Southampton has some really great pubs and bars and that kind of stuff, and we always found somewhere nice to go and have a drink. So I know that's quite a sad answer, but I just loved being near lots of bars and being able to just go out for a drink with my friends, because that was something I was never able to do at home because of living in the middle of nowhere. So for me, I think that was probably my favourite thing about Southampton. I feel like this is quite a similar question, but someone asked, what is the one thing you will miss most about Southampton? Probably not a lot, to be completely honest with you. I would say like my friends and stuff, but obviously I'm still going to be seeing them anyway. So for me, I don't think there's anything that I will massively miss about Southampton, except for there was one spot where I used to go all of the time when I lived in halls, and I kind of went there after I lived in halls as well, but there was one spot in Southampton that I felt really happy in, and it was down near like the waterfront, where the ships come and dock in, and there was a little spot that I used to go and sit. There was a bench down there, and I used to go and sit on that bench quite a lot if I was having a down day, and I'd take my headphones and I would just sit there and listen to some music and chill out, and it's like my one little happy place in Southampton. So I will definitely miss that. How much practical work did your course involve? I'm not going to answer too many questions that are specific to my course, just because I want this video to be useful for everyone. So I'm gonna, yeah, try not to answer too many questions that are course specific. If you've got a question, leave it down below and I will get back to you. But a lot of people just kind of ask like what my favourite thing about my course was, or my favourite module that we did. I would say my favourite one overall that comes to mind was probably my final major project, just because it was something that I could completely choose myself. But other than that, I think it was in second year, I did a unit called Global Perspectives, and we basically had to choose a beauty brand and rebrand them, and kind of like market it for a different market, so whether that was in a different country. And I was so happy with the project that I did for that. I might end up sharing it one day, but I basically chose Origins and I did their ginseng face moisturiser with SPF 30 in it, and I remarketed it for Australia, and it was so much fun. I loved it. So that was the one that comes to mind. Somebody said, is it a good idea to get into a relationship before uni? Now I feel like this is really down to personal preference, but I would never, personally, I would never say to somebody, you can't go to uni in a relationship. So my best friend Shan, she was in a relationship before she came to uni, and her relationship is still going strong now, so she was fine with it. I think it completely depends on you as a person, and I believe that like things happen for a reason. So if you are heading to uni soon and you find yourself getting into a new relationship with somebody before you go, if you think it's right and you trust them and you're happy to like have the distance, or you think it's worth it, then 100% go for it. Don't ever like push someone away just because you're moving to uni. Or yeah, I think just see how it goes, and it's completely fine to be at uni and be single, and it's also completely fine to be at uni and be in a relationship. You just might have a bit of a different experience. If you could change one thing about your time at uni, what would it be and why? I had a lot of people ask this. I honestly, I know it's a bit of a crappy answer, but I genuinely would say that I wouldn't change anything, because if I did, then my experience would have been completely different. And although I had like down moments and stuff at uni, I don't believe in like regretting things or wanting to change them, so I would genuinely change nothing. Or apart from maybe the fact that I didn't become friends with my two best friends, Shan and Amber, until a bit later on in uni, so maybe I would become friends with them quicker. Yeah, that's my answer. How did you take notes in class? I was always the one that had a notebook, so I would actually bring a notebook and a pen to each lecture and I would write down all my notes in a notebook. I just found that a lot more beneficial for me, I guess, than using a laptop. Some people choose to like write everything up on a laptop, some people do it in a notebook. How did you keep on top of deadlines and balance a social life? I had a lot of questions like this as well. I think again, this is like, they're all very like down to the individual person, and I can give you advice but it might not necessarily work for you. So for me, I actually didn't really struggle to keep a balance. I've always been the person that keeps on top of their work and is very, very organised. I always know like what work I need to get done before a certain date, and I am so into my planning and organisation that it just kind of comes naturally to me. So I would always like dedicate a bit of time each day to doing some work, and I would reward myself by going out if I'd got that work done. I just think it's about finding a balance. It's about finding what works for you and finding a good routine. You know, the way that I did my work at uni was different to my friends. It was different to anyone else I came across at uni. Like, we all had our own ways of getting our work done. Some people work better in the evenings, some people work better in the mornings, and I think you've just got to find that balance that works for you. It might not come straight away, it might take a while, but you will find it. Just try a few different things and you will be fine. Just don't go out too much and party. If you know that you're one of those people that isn't going to get your work done and you can be kind of like a bit behind with it, then maybe see going out as like a reward for doing work. That could work for you. Favourite memories from uni? I loved this question and I got a lot like this as well. I honestly can't pick a favourite memory. I just think uni as a whole for me has been amazing. I really enjoyed uni, like way more than I was expecting to. It was a very different experience to what I was expecting, in the sense that I kind of expected to be going out clubbing all the time, and I expected to make friends with a massive group of people and be friends with like guys and girls, and that's kind of how I pictured myself to be at uni, and like going to loads of house parties and stuff like that, and it just didn't really pan out that way for me. I've got a very tight-knit group of friends which I'm so happy with and I wouldn't change for the world. But yeah, it was kind of a different experience than I expected. I spent most of my time at the pub, I hardly ever went to clubs, and yeah, I can't pick a favourite memory. I've loved every single minute of it, I honestly have. Did you need to buy any textbooks? No, I didn't have to buy any textbooks for my course. In first year, I was advised to get a makeup kit, which I did get, but then actually it turned out I didn't really need to buy that. So if you are watching this video and you are doing the same course as me, beauty promotion, and you haven't started yet, I wouldn't recommend getting the kit. If you've already got a makeup kit that you can use, then use that. Because I already had makeup from when I was at college, and I had a makeup kit from like doing freelance stuff, but because the uni like advised me to get this MAC makeup kit that was like hundreds of pounds, I bought it because I thought I had to, and then I realised that actually you could just use any makeup kit that you wanted. So just look into that before you do it, because I kind of regret buying that. And the only other like expenses for the course were trips, really. So no, I didn't have to buy any books. How difficult was the workload? I thought this was a good question. Obviously, again, every course is different. This is only going to be like relevant for my course. I personally didn't find it too bad. I think that the way my modules were split up each term made sense in my head and made the workload seem a lot less. Like, if I look back now at all the work I did over the 3 years, I'm like, whoa, that is a lot of stuff. I don't know how I did it all. But because they split it up and they make it very clear like what has to be done by when, and they kind of spread it out over the 3 years, I personally didn't find it too difficult. Like, even when I was doing my final major project, I almost felt like I should be doing more work than what I was, but that's just the way I am, and I don't know if other people on my course found it more tough. I'm really not sure. It's completely Again, down to personal preference. I think the hardest module was definitely writing my dissertation because it was so academic and I'm not the most academic person. I did really enjoy the process of writing it because it made me feel like I was actually a uni student for once, because I feel like for the rest of the time I was at uni, I almost felt like what I was doing was just for fun. It felt kind of like, I don't know, like the things I'd already been doing in my spare time. It didn't feel like I was doing a degree, which is so weird. One of my units at uni, I had to start a blog, and like I already do that, so for me it just felt like a bit of an extended hobby, and sometimes I didn't really feel like I was doing academic work. So writing my dissertation was really good in that sense, but it was quite tricky and I did struggle with that a little bit. Okay, did you find it easy to make friends when you first went to uni not knowing anyone? This is a really good question, and I know a lot of people struggle with this, including myself. I struggled so much when I first went to uni. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know a single person in Southampton when I moved there, which is kind of daunting but also really exciting because you can be whoever you want to be, and I really loved that side of things. I was the first one to move into my flat in Halls in first year, and then a couple of guys from my flat moved in the same day, and then that same day none of the other girls moved into the flat. It was just all of the boys. So the first night I spent at uni, I remember it so vividly and it was so fun. It was literally me and like 5 other lads that I'd never met before, and they all knew each other because all the boys in my halls knew each other before they went. So that was kind of scary for me, and we went on a night out together. We went to the pub, I think we went to Spoons, and we just got to know each other, got a bit drunk. Like, it was really fun. And then the next day the rest of the flat moved in, so more girls moved in, and I made friends with Erin, which I think she was actually in a few of my videos when I was in first year. And we clicked straight away, which was so lovely, and we are still friends now. We're not as close as we used to be just because we obviously didn't live together after first year, so we were really close in first year, and then we did kind of split up and go our separate ways a little bit, but we would still go out for a drink every now and then together, and if we bump into each other, like, it would be really nice. So yeah, I did make her as my friend really quickly, which was amazing. We were so close. Found that really easy, and that was so nice that I had somebody living in my halls that I could really talk to about anything. And then I made my closest friends that I have now, Amber and Shan. I made friends with them a lot later on, actually. I think I properly made friends with them like halfway through second year, I would say. Or maybe I've got that wrong, but it wasn't right at the start. I'm really bad with timings and stuff, but it wasn't at the start that we made friends. We kind of made friends a little bit later on down the line. I think just make as many friends as you can, be nice to everyone, and I also think, like, if you like the look of someone, it sounds kind of weird, but like if there's somebody who lives in your flat or lives in a flat near you or is on your course and you're like, I think we would get on so well, don't be afraid to like reach out to them, because especially when you first move to uni, like, everyone is there to make friends, everyone's in the same position, and I just think you can't be afraid to like reach out to people. It would be so flattering if someone was like, hey, can we like hang out, or like just ask someone if they want to go for a coffee or want to go for a drink, or like, you will be fine. Like, everyone is in the same boat, just remember that. And yes, it can be tricky to make friends, but I also think like your best friends at uni that you make may come a little bit later on, because once everyone is comfortable and has like settled into a routine, then you actually make like deeper connections with people rather than just like going out drinking with them. So yeah, I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. When do you think you'll be looking to start a job in the career that you want? This is a really great question. So I think at the moment it's a really tough situation for everyone, especially people who have just graduated or who have just finished uni and are looking for a job. So I've decided to stay living down in Devon. I'm hoping to get a little flat in Exeter, which is like the nearest city to me, and then I'm going to start looking for a job. I have already been looking, and I've been contacting like places that I would like to work kind of around here, but I think for me, because I'm staying in Devon now, I'm not going to get my dream job, and I know that. Like, the kind of thing I want to be doing, I do need to live in like London or Manchester or a bigger city to actually get a job that I really want, but I know it will happen one day. I'm not ruling things out. I just think this part of my life that I'm currently living in, it's right for me to stay here, and I won't be staying here forever. I'm so sure that I'll probably end up moving to London at some point. I really want to live in Brighton. That is my ideal place. So hopefully in a couple of years time, maybe when I'm really sick of being down here, then I will move to Brighton and maybe commute and get a job in London. I'm just not really sure. I'm not trying to put any pressure on myself because I think it's a really hard time for everyone. Is there time in your course to balance uni and a part-time job? Yeah, there definitely is. Most of the girls on my course actually had a part-time job, including myself, which I know people kind of like can disagree on this one, but for me YouTube is my part-time job. I would spend a good like 3 days out of each week filming videos or like creating content for brands and stuff. So yeah, I did technically have a part-time job at the same time, and I think most of the girls on my course did, so you can definitely get it done. This is funny. Somebody asked, how often can you go out and still be on track for a first? I think, again, this is really hard to answer. I think it's completely down to you and how well you work. If you go out and then you spend all of the next day in bed and you don't go up and do anything, then obviously that's like quite a waste of time, and I know I'm like that. If I go out and I have a heavy night out, the next day is a complete write-off, so I wouldn't let myself do that if I had lots of work to do. So I think it's just about using your common sense and knowing when you should probably do work over going out. Did you prefer your flat to halls? I don't know, this is a really hard one. So obviously I was in halls in first year. I loved halls. I had the time of my life. I then moved into a shared house with a group of girls. If you've been around for long enough, you will remember that happening. That was a really bad time. So I hated that. And then I moved into my flat on my own. And yeah, I would say I'm so happy living on my own in my flat. Obviously, I don't live there now, but I'm very much into my own company, and I really like living on my own, and I like my own space, and just, yeah, looking after myself is perfect for me. Can't even remember what the question was. Yes, I probably did prefer living in my own flat to halls. It was a very different environment. It was a lot easier to focus on work. First year was just about having fun, you know. So yeah, they were both really different. And the last question I'm going to answer is, which was your favourite year of uni and why? Now, I've thought about this a lot. This is the only question I actually looked at previously and have been trying to think of an answer for. I loved all 3 years for different reasons. First year I loved because it was so fun. I felt like I was on a brand new adventure. I met so many new people, and just a lot of great things happened that year. Second year, I felt like I was really settled in my friendship groups. I obviously had a boyfriend at the time, so I was really settled in my relationship, and I just feel like that year was the year I made so many good memories. Like, all of the good memories in my life, I feel, have been during my second year of uni. Like, it was honestly amazing. So then third year is obviously the year that I've just finished, and for me it didn't end the way I was hoping it was going to end, and that's the same for everyone who has just finished uni the same time as me. It didn't have the best ending. It was really great for work, but definitely second year was my favourite year out of the 3. I just feel like I really learned a lot about myself in second year, which sounds so weird and like cliche, but I just had the best time. Like, second year summer was the best summer of my life, and I just have so many like cherished memories from second year. It makes me want to cry thinking about it, to be completely honest. So I'm gonna stop here because I'm getting all emotional. So thank you all so much for watching this video, and thank you if you sent in a question. If I didn't get around to answering your question, I'm so sorry, but feel free to leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Remember to give the video a thumbs up, and I really hope that you enjoyed this last uni Q&A that I'm ever gonna do. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel as well, because I've been filming so many videos recently and I've been really enjoying it, and I feel like as soon as I manage to get my own flat, then my content is just gonna skyrocket. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I'm gonna go and finish my tea now because it's getting really cold. But I hope you enjoyed this video anyway, and I will see you all really soon with another one. Goodbye.